What about UFOs and ET?
Today we will talk about the phenomenon of UFOs and aliens and its history. Supporters of this hypothesis say that aliens have been visiting Earth for a long time, and some even claim that they met them and gave them specifications, saying, for example, that they look like terrestrials, their color is gray, their height is between 3 and 4 feet, they have a small mouth, a nose, ears, and big black eyes. They roam our skies in UFOs, some of which were destroyed, and this wreckage was found by the US government, according to their claim, but it hid it. They also cite millions of testimonies. Others also claim to have seen lights circling the sky at great speed, and many said, under hypnosis, that they were kidnapped and experimented on by aliens. Some women even claim that they became pregnant from aliens and gave birth to children. These creatures returned and snatched them from them. But to this day, there is no physical evidence, no video or photo to prove these things, and even if they exist, we found out later that they are not true or that they are forged. Ufologists justify this deficiency by saying that aliens intentionally hide these proofs in order to hide their existence. Their action is also supported by governments, especially the United States government, by its secret agents called the Man in Black. Let's talk now about the history of these phenomena. We do not find any testimonies in ancient history until the late 19th century that speak of strange phenomena in space, except for what the New Age followers claim, and people like for example, the writer Erich von Däniken, who launched the hypothesis of aliens that visited Earth in the past, called the civilized heroes, who intermarried with Neanderthal species and Homo sapiens species began. He also confirmed that the vehicles mentioned in the book of Ezekiel are UFOs. There are other similar claims we will talk about later. In the late 19th century, some testimonies began to appear to the middle of the 20th century with the beginning of technological development, the space age, and Apollo's landing on the moon. Most of them happened in the United States and Europe. In June 1947, the pilot Kenneth Arnold, who was on board his private plane, said that he saw unknown objects and they were moving like a flying saucer. So he reported to the watchtower. The press reported this news and called it UFOs. With this incident, the so-called phenomenon of UFOs began in our contemporary time. Then there were millions of testimonies about flying objects in the sky. In July 1947, a few days after the Arnold incident, William McBrazel, a farm owner from New Mexico, reported that he had found strange wrecks in Roswell. So he called the army and claimed that he had found a UFO. And the news spread, which made public opinion accept this phenomenon. Knowing that the investigations carried out by the responsible General Ramey confirmed later that the wreckage is the remnants of a weather balloon. Indeed, it was a spy balloon within the Project Nabab, but this matter was not revealed before the 80s of the last century. In the 50s, new testimonies began to speak of encounters with extraterrestrial beings. The most famous was George Adamski, who confirmed his contact with aliens from Mars. In the 60s, these phenomena took the form of kidnapping. For example, on September 19, 1961, two people from New Hampshire, Betty and Barney Hill, stated that aliens had kidnapped them and subjected them to medical experiments. So, a new element has entered into these phenomena. It is interesting that the kidnappers do not remember anything except under hypnosis. The news of kidnappings increased in the last 30 years, and many authors appeared on the subject, such as writer Bud Hopkins, psychotherapist John Mack, specialist in the so-called alien abduction, and science fiction writer Whitley Strieber. They all claim that aliens have kidnapped millions of Americans. This is how this phenomenon has become a profitable resource and has sold millions of copies. Then there was a lot of talk about the US government's concealment on this phenomenon and what was promoted especially by Frank Scully's book, Behind the Flying Saucers, in 1950, and also the book of the Roswell Incident, who claimed that the government was complicit and was hiding the truth about UFOs. In the mid-19s, a Ray Santilli movie sold to Fox appeared an alien being dissected by military doctors. Why this phenomena spread in this wide way? We will explain it in the next video.